Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Real Talk with Ellison, and I am Ellison. Listen, if you are on Facebook, please go ahead and hit the like button. If you are on YouTube, please go ahead and make sure you subscribe. Hit that bell so you know when Real Talk with Ellison goes live. And if you like our show, make sure you hit the like button so we can get this out as much as possible. Because on this show, we talk about real issues that impact the church and the community as a whole. And with that being said, we're about to get this show started. Hey guys, welcome to Real Talk with Ellison, and I am Ellison. Well, today I am going to bring on a special guest, but before I do, you guys know I gotta and listen to me already. It's been a long day. I gotta bring on my co-host, and then I gotta give y'all some statistics, right? So I have my beautiful co-host Jaquita with me on today. Hey, Quee, hey girl, hey.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, so listen, today's show, we are talking about love without limits. And when I was doing research, I was looking at some of the reasons people stay together, and love was not the top one. Love was not the top reason that people stay together. It said, that people stay together because of investments, social factors, status quo, routines, right? It said most people are unhappy in their marriage, in their relationship, but they stay together because they hope things can improve. They're just hoping, right? Things are not getting better. They're not doing anything to help it, or they feel like they can change their partner. So I found that was very interesting that love was not the top one. So with that being said, we have a wonderful couple on here gonna let us know that love without limits is the definition of their relationship. So welcome, Mr. Jarvis and Mrs. Stacee Fountaine. Hey guys.
Hey.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It
Thanks
is a
for the
pleasure
invite.
to have you guys on here. Jarvis, we had you before. Stacee, girl, hey.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so welcome. So tell us a little bit about you guys. How long you been married? Tell us some things.
Okay, yeah. So we've been married for almost 6 years in November. All right, but we've been together for 25, going on 26 years, I think. Yeah, we've been together for a long time. We've only been married for 6 years, but it's been a long journey. It's been a rewarding journey, and I'm grateful to be able to share it with my wife.
Yes, that's amazing.
Aww.
Yeah, everybody. Oh,
Aww.
Yes.
that's a long time, though.
So what's a long time? You said we've been together a long time. What's a long time?
I guess throughout the years, we've been together since we was in high school. Okay.
Okay.
We met in high school. We've been together since high school,
1999.
since 1999.
1999.
Yes.
All right. That's
1999.
good.
You know what, though? That is right. Because if that's about 26, I think that's correct.
Yeah.
If it's not 26, it's going on like 27. Because
Yeah.
my husband and I dated in high school, and it was 90. I think we were 98.
Okay.
But that's still in the same,
Right.
like the next
Yeah.
year over. So
Yeah.
that's about right. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all been together that long,
Yeah.
and then y'all been only married for 6 years.
Yes.
Right.
Stacee, give me 1 second, okay? Jarvis, what in the world?
There she goes.
Yes, yes,
6 years married. That's it. What's
yes.
going to talk to us?
Talk. Look, so I heard this my entire, well, not my entire life. My wife always say we've been together longer than we've been, you know, than we weren't together. All right. So we was kids growing up, and I heard this from my family, my grandparents, my aunties, my siblings, friends. Like, what's going on, man? When you go finally decide to marry this woman who's been with you since the beginning. I'm talking about through it all. And for me, just to be honest, very immature, um, wasn't willing to commit. Also have
That's
some
good.
family. Um, I got some trauma myself, like from family experiencing like things with certain relationships going on with my mother and father, with my grandparents, and so I just never made the commitment. Wouldn't give myself a chance, wouldn't give her a chance, and I always, just immature.
Just
Okay.
it. I'm just playing.
And I'm happy you realized it, but I
Right,
used to tell him you were afraid to commit, but you were committed. You
right,
were doing everything already. So,
yes,
Everything already.
or I guess the idea of making it legal was what was holding him back.
Right.
No.
yes,
Right. So listen, if you guys are online, let's make sure y'all comment and let's put Jarvis on the spot because we gonna
yes.
pick on him a little bit. Now I'm
That's
just teasing.
cool.
That's horrible,
So yeah,
y'all.
you
Do
what
it.
I like that Stacey said that you
Yes.
were committed, right?
Mhm.
You
It
know,
was just the paper.
Just a
yeah, but I'm wondering if like so I'm committed, but then can I just go there? I'm a little scared
Mhm.
because
Yes.
of
Yes.
family dynamics, different things that maybe
Mm.
you were going through.
Right.
So did you
So
fear that that actually saying I do was going to change the
um,
relationship?
it was going to change the relationship because with saying I do, at least how I internalized it, it mean some behaviors had to change. It
Mhm.
mean some actions had to change. Um, the intentions that I always had to in line with my actions. Again, the immaturity. Family, like I witnessed my mother and father. They've been married twice to each other
Mhm.
and divorced twice from each other. Um, I witnessed my grandparents divorce. It was just a lot of fear. It really was rooted in
Mhm.
fear,
Right.
the fear of this not working out. I'm not man enough. I'm not good enough.
Mm.
Um, I'm gonna set her up for failure. I'm gonna set
Mhm.
myself up for failure. That type of stuff. That's what was going in. And I used those excuses for so long. Like I used them for so long. And that was my way to like wiggle around and control the situation too.
Right. Right.
That's
Okay.
good. That's a
That
good
is
one.
really, really good. So,
Mhm.
Eric said
That's right,
he's
bro. Men, men know when you say I do.
It
It requires
required.
us to change some behaviors we cannot always be ready for,
Right,
ready to do.
right,
Okay.
right. And
okay.
and I like that because I'm talking about I remember the first day I seen her. I remember the first day we acted. Like I can remember, like I've
Mm-hmm.
always had this connection and I
Mm-hmm.
always had this
That's good.
feeling when I'm with or around her.
Mm-hmm.
But I also knew, like, it's some
he knew
things.
himself.
Yeah, I knew myself. At least I thought I did at that moment. I knew myself well enough to know, like, do you want to take that leap of faith or do you want to make that commitment right now? So I just wasn't ready at the moment. And
Yeah.
thankfully I was blessed and fortunate enough to where um she was so committed that she stuck with me throughout the process.
You know I
Gotcha.
was coming down that road.
Right, right,
Mhm.
right.
So tell me
Yeah.
this though, because I'm curious to know. You know how when we all first meet our mate, right? It's kind of like
Yes,
everybody remembers that moment because it's
yes,
embedded in your head, right?
yes.
So tell us, where were you all? What was said, and what was the response?
Okay.
When y'all
Um,
first met.
This
I
is
Yeah.
a funny story. I love it.
it's
Go
tremendous
ahead.
funny. So we was in band practice. Okay, I
Okay.
was in the band. She was a flag girl, and
Mm-hmm.
I had I had one of my cousins He's gone now, rest in peace. And his girlfriend, which is her cousin. We was all close, and I just had told her cousin, I was like, Tasha, I need to get to know your your friend, like ASAP. And they end up connecting us. They end up connecting us, and we were supposed to meet at the movies.
She stood you up.
He stood me up.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Oh,
Wait a
Lord.
minute. Wait.
Right.
Pause. You done jumped through all of those hoops. You done say all of that about wanting to meet her, and you stood her up?
Yes.
But look, I thought he was gonna say the way you were going with the story. I thought you were about to say she stood you up, but you're horrible.
No. And she was waiting on it. She was like, go ahead and tell him what you did to me. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Let them know.
Yeah. And it's
That's them Raider fans for you.
Oh man. Come on.
Boy, that girl, I swear.
Right.
Oh my God.
So again, at the time, I was going into my senior year. I still had other things going on. I still had different relationships going on. I still had, I was out there playing the field. And some other things had distracted me.
Right.
And that's just what it was at the moment. I can tell you then it was just I was just doing a lot of playing around. And I didn't
What
take
movie was y'all gonna go see? That's what I want to know.
I don't even
Now,
remember.
that boy don't even
I'm just messing with
They didn't make it to the movie to remember.
I can't even remember, but
Yeah.
we still stayed and watched the movie.
Yeah.
Me and my cousin and her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Good for you.
But
Good
the
for
movie
you.
wasn't meaningful no more, right, Stacey? Because you're not gonna remember because he didn't show up like
I
he was
didn't
supposed
show
to.
up.
Right.
I just
I'm-
didn't
We
show
don't
up.
care.
I know. We get ready to come to
Good
Stacey
night.
now.
Yeah, I called her
I think he
afterwards.
called me afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
And you took the call?
Yeah.
I did.
Well, thank God you did now, but
But go
I
ahead.
was
Tell me,
very
Stacey,
innocent back then. I hadn't had a lot of boyfriends and stuff. I just,
Ah.
I just didn't care.
Yeah.
I just didn't care.
Right.
He
They
said
gone
he
in-
was
that's
gone
six-
in
Going to
60
60
seconds.
that's a
seconds.
her- Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So yeah, and thankfully she took the call, and I had to put in some work after that.
I bet.
Stacey, oh my goodness. Okay, so we talking about, listen, you guys, I need y'all to hashtag love without limits.
Yes.
Right?
Love
So
without limits.
Stacey.
Stacey, by the way, Ellasin is messy. Yeah. You're gonna learn real quick.
So here we are. Y'all met at band practice, right? We were supposed to go to the movies. You was with your cousins watching the movies. Jarvis was watching Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah. I wasn't watching it. I was in the movie.
He was in the movie.
You was an actor.
Yeah.
You was performing. For sure.
So what was it that you were like, okay, let me just go ahead, take his call, give him a chance. What was it?
Like, honestly, I just think back then, and really, I'm truly like a laid back kind of person anyway. Like, I'm very forgiving. I like to give people a chance to explain themselves. Like, we can work through pretty much anything, if we talk about it. So I really didn't have any anger. I didn't have any reason to. Like, we were just meeting. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Like, something came up, you just couldn't come, So
I need to hear that excuse.
explain. Yeah.
I got you. It's okay.
I need to hear that excuse.
You hear Ellasin being messy, Stacey? See,
I do, and I really wish I remembered the excuse.
Right.
This is the extra right here. She messy.
I don't remember.
Jarvis, stick with that, bro. He said no.
Right.
My
Take
friend
it to
said
the
he
grave,
don't
take it
Hey,
to the grave.
but they didn't let it down. Even my cousin who
They were mad at
oh, they was mad. My cousin was mad at me. Her cousin, which they was together, she was mad at me.
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't let it go.
Yeah.
Like,
You
they made
said
it work hard
ASAP,
to come
Jarvis.
to me after that.
Like after that, they was like, nah, man, we didn't put she a good girl. We didn't put
Yeah.
forth this energy. We didn't connected y'all, and here you go going with the
Going
things-
with the wind.
the things that
Wasn't that a song? Why
right.
do good girls like
Like
bad guys.
That's it. That is the song.
Right, that's it.
So that's what we got going on here.
It had to be. I
Yeah,
felt like it,
yeah.
you know, I don't know. He just gave off some good swag, and I was just used to like the nerdy group, you know, the nerdy group. And then I was like, ooh, he actually, you know,
He different.
The cool guy likes me.
He's trying to come over here.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So,
I hear you. That's good. That's good. So y'all got together, and I'm sure high school was high school, right? Because y'all young. So we did some things during high school. So walk us through what those high school years. What was relationship like? Look
Well,
how
for
she
me-
looking at you.
So for me, because I was a senior, so again, I'm older than my wife.
Oh, okay.
So I was a senior, she was a sophomore. All right.
Okay.
So I ended up going into the military immediately as soon as I graduated. While in the military, she was still up in school.
Right.
And I always called, came home, visited. You know, I always wrote letters. Yeah, we wrote so many letters and talked on the phone all night, waking up on the phone, you know, so she can go to school, so I can go to work or whatever that I was doing. So it was like that, you know, for us in that period of time.
So we all got a military connection, which is a good thing because our husbands was in the military, and that's how we met them through the military. So I like the little vibe. It's like
That's what's up.
That's neat.
What you're saying there?
Oh, I was saying, I think that's actually probably what helped our relationship in the beginning because he was in the military. So we, like the conversations, we just really got to know each other a lot. You know, we didn't have too much time. So we made the moments we did have together like count.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
It will force you to get to know a person when you're
Right.
distance,
All we
like,
could
the
do was
countryside. It's
act
the
crazy.
excitement.
Yeah.
It's the excitement. Mhm.
Yeah.
Then they be gone, and then when they come back, I'm sorry.
Right. You know,
When
I
they come
was so
back, you be
young
like,
back
when
then.
you
You know, we didn't do those
And
kinds of
see,
things.
and I honestly, I had a short-lived military career. All right. Outside of things that I was doing, you know, because of like substance use, but it was very short. So she ended up at the end of my military career. She ended up coming. Her mother was you a senior then? Or
No,
you was in
I was-
11th grade.
Yeah, because I went to my senior year when you came home.
Okay, so that shows like the relationship between not only me and her, but also her family, her mother. So she was in 11th grade, and her mother allowed her to come visit me. And she stayed with me. My father was living out there. She stayed with me, I think, for a weekend, maybe.
It was like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah. It was like a good little span.
Okay.
And she ended up coming back home. And
I rode the bus back home.
Yeah.
This is how long ago this was. The Greyhound.
Yeah.
it's
So
from
I rode
Atlanta,
the
Georgia, all the way back to Louisiana. So I think that might have been like 17, 18 hours or something.
That's love for you.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a
Stuff
wild
you
story.
do.
And
Yep.
guess who joined
Love
me?
without
She
limits.
made it back.
Love without limits.
That's who what?
Love without limits.
A couple hours after I made it home, he was right there behind me. I said, I could have rode home with you.
Yeah.
You put me
Yeah.
on the
Wait,
bus
wait.
and followed me back.
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
I came back home because I wanted to be with my baby. And I left, went AWOL. You know, I was one of them impulsive,
People.
you know, I had missed her. We had some time together. She ended up going home. I had some stuff going on with the military, so it kind of gave me an excuse too. So soon as I think I arrived, not even that much longer
It
after.
wasn't long after at all. That's why I said,
Yeah, because she was like, I could have just rolled with you instead of riding
Yeah,
on the
wasting my time.
So
that was it. That was when you came home on that ride behind her. That was it.
I mean, it wasn't it because I was absent without leave.
AWOL.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, I was AWOL.
So wait.
Now you telling me.
Wait.
Yeah.
I've seen her and I had to have her. Wait. I got a timeline here. I done seen her because I had to have her. I done stood her up at the movie theater, but I came back with a vengeance because I had to have her.
Yeah.
I went in the military, went AWOL behind her because I had to have her.
Yeah.
And y'all only been married for 6 years, but I'm messy.
I see where you're going and I like it.
Yeah.
Because,
Hey, you sound like
thought.
that's how my grandmother was. You
Right.
know, my grandmother, she was like, "Baby, what's taking you so long?" You know, if he don't,
It sound like to me, you
if
talk
he don't
about-
marry you, you need to leave his butt. I'm like, yeah, I'm supposed to be my family working on my side. Yeah,
It
yeah,
sound like, look, Jarvis. It sound like you was addicted to Stacey.
yes,
Addicted. Talk about.
yes, yes, yes.
I love it. I
Right,
love it.
So he
right.
said, he
And
said,
I end up
she's in
going
his
back.
system. He was never gonna shake her.
Never
Never
gonna
go,
shake a
never go
baby.
shake her. You
Mm-mm.
know, you meet some people and they change your life. You know, and
Yep.
you build a connection. And again, being immature, impulsive, going through things I was going through, it's like I would just make moves for self, not knowing like what the consequences gonna
Right.
be or how they go affect me or her later on.
Hmm.
Right.
Yep. Yep. So
Right.
after
Yeah.
that, I end up going back getting a certain type of a general discharge.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully it wasn't too
Worse.
bad. Yeah,
Right.
worse.
Right. Yeah.
Because they knew some things that was going on with me, like with substance use and all
Yeah.
that type of stuff. So they gave me a general discharge, and I came back home.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I lived with her. Her mother allowed me to live with them. You know, and we did that for a while. I stayed with her. She finished school, and then she ended up, if I'm not mistaken, going to getting accepted. So you can tell them about your story.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he came home. So he was there my senior year mostly after he finished, what he had to go through with the military.
Right.
Then I got accepted to some colleges and I chose to go to Dillard in New Orleans, Dillard University.
Mm-hmm.
And he decided he was going to go to college too.
Yeah,
So
that same day.
You know what?
yeah, I'm telling y'all the stuff that we
You know what? You could
walked
have
through.
told
He's
Jarvis you
amazing.
was going to jump off
He
a
was
bridge
going
and
like
he was
this.
coming with
Speaking
you.
of places, he
Yeah.
came down there. This is how funny it is. Like he decided same day I'm going to enroll in school. Thank God he had an aunt who was like, if you go, I'm going to help you go.
Yeah.
So he came. He found an apartment the same day. Got a job the same day.
Oh,
He was a
everything.
maintenance man at an apartment complex, so he got to live in a studio apartment for free
Yeah,
to
I
be
got
the
blessed. I,
maintenance man.
hey, look, I
And he
got
wasn't
blessed.
doing nothing
Wasn't cleaning
maintenance time.
nothing.
Man, I'm telling you,
No,
everything that happened in my mind, it was God working for me. Because look,
It
you
was
gotta
God.
imagine. I just say I'm gonna go down here. She's enrolled. She's starting her college. You know, she
right.
her freshman year in college, and I'm like, I'm going down there, and
And ain't
nobody.
nobody else. No, no. Let me help you out.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to roll up down here because ain't nobody gonna get this.
Oh no,
That's what
That's
he said
exactly what
funny
he
look,
because I didn't even know he was coming.
yeah,
Like we were like saying goodbyes, like I'm
yeah,
going to school. I'll see you in
Jarvis.
yeah.
You
between. And he was like,
terrible.
I'm coming.
And her mother was willing to let me even stay there. Like that's how
Yeah.
close me and her family is, you know. But
Oh my
Jarvis
I'm,
God.
when I
refused.
I
showed up in
love it.
New Orleans with no plan, no
No.
No
plan. I
plan.
just showed up in New Orleans and I pulled up. I talked to a guy. He was like, "Why you out here in New Orleans?" And I told him why and how it happened. And he was like, "Man, I got an apartment for you. Look, he say all you have to do is cut the grass." He say, and that's it. So he gave me a studio apartment, allowed me to stay
That's
there,
what's up.
and then my auntie was like, "I'm gonna help you get enrolled in college because you need to go back and get your education."
Y'all, my mouth like this.
I
Yeah,
know, right?
yeah,
Y'all show them some love.
right,
Give them some hearts, y'all. Show them some
Right.
love. That's what I'm
They
talking
yeah,
about.
would.
yeah. And then I ended up getting in college. My aunt made a call to some family. I ended up getting hired at the Royal Semester in what it is
It's the
downtown.
hotel.
Yeah, that's the hotel, but it's up in which part?
French
French
Quarter.
Quarters. In the
Yeah.
Yeah, right
French
by
Quarter on the
canal.
corner of Bourbon Street and Conti. So
Mm-hmm.
everything happened for me. I'm telling you, within 12 hours of me just
God had a
going to New
plan.
Orleans, I
That's
had a
amazing.
apartment, a job, and was enrolled in school. And like I had been
Okay.
planning this my whole life.
Right.
Wow, that's amazing. I
Hey,
love it.
Her said, "I love what? I love this
Yeah,
dude."
we have done it.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, God had definitely had. He said,
Yeah, that's
keep grinding,
amazing.
brother. So
yes.
I heard you mention a few times about, substance use. Did your substance use a pack impact your relationship in any kind of way? Did you guys have to, go through some things because of substance use?
You can.
Definitely. It definitely was. I think we both came from families who had, we had seen it. It wasn't like new to either one of us. And we just chose different paths, I guess you can say. I chose to like stay away from it, and he chose to, I'm
Go to
assuming
the
not trying to
water.
speak for you, but he got immersed in it. And along, I've always wanted him to like not do it. I guess you can say I was like, you need to
What?
stop. You really need to stop. I was like pushing him, but not pushing him, just trying to make sure he knew I was there either way, telling him what we could have if he didn't, do those types of things and stuff like that. And it put a strain on a lot. It put a
Mm-hmm.
strain on a lot, especially after we had our first child. Like it kind of it made him where he was away, doing those types of things when I wanted him home helping. So it just put a big strain on the family. And it was always like a constant battle, me just saying, like, please change, please do differently. I know you can. And him
Yeah.
telling me, like, I know and I will. And, you just got to give me a chance. Let me do it myself, kind of. So it was like a
That's
lot of
true.
push and pull for years, for
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true though, because you got to do it yourself. If love can solve an addiction, right? We
Right.
wouldn't have as many, addicts out there. But that's true. You had to do it yourself. And even though, you wasn't doing the right thing, God still had his hand on you. All those
Hmm.
things that he was doing, because he knows what was destined in you, right? And no, you might not have been walking in it now, but you are fulfilling, what the purpose that he has put in you guys, and your marriage, speaks that. So what was it, Stacee, that made you hold on even through this process, right?
I felt like, and some people may not believe it, but it's true. And me and his grandmother used to talk about it all the time. I just always saw what he could be. So I knew that the stuff he was doing at that time, and the choices he was making, I didn't feel like that was him. That was all that he was. That wasn't his potential. I guess I can say.
Yeah.
I knew that there was something great out there waiting for him, and he just needed to see it. So I always
Mm-hmm.
wanted to keep telling him, like, this is not what it is. God keeps helping us. He's making sure we're all right. He's doing it for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I stood by that, and now you can see what I saw.
Yes.
It just took him seeing it for himself. He
Mm-hmm.
couldn't I couldn't make him see what I saw. I had to let him figure it out on his own.
Yeah, that's real. That's real right there. Jarvis, do you ever deal, or have you ever dealt with like the guilt of what transpired in the family, within your family dynamics and the relationship, and what maybe the substance and stuff? Did you deal with that, and did you get over that?
Um, a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, a lot of remorse, all of those things. And I think for so long, because if you don't understand it's a problem going on already, how can you find a solution? So they say. People say, look for the solution, look for the solution. But if you don't know what the problem is, why are you going to be looking for a solution? So the way that I was coping, navigating through life, it was considered normal to me, So I would do some things, I would experience shame and guilt, and instead of identifying where it's coming from and fixing it or changing my behaviors, I just kept covering it up with more substance use, more lifestyle issues, creating more trauma, not only for myself, but also for my wife and my kids, because of the situations that I would put myself in, which affected them like greatly, like whether it be me going to do time in prison, having to go to treatment, um, um avoiding certain consequences that the laws, because I'll run, like and it's the same thing for our relationship. Like, so if I had to suffer certain consequences, or my wife had to tell me about certain things that I was doing, I'm a good avoider. I don't like to have the uncomfortable conversations. I'll leave. I just never wanted to face some things, because when I face them, I mean, guess what? I got to take accountability for why
Yes.
everything is like it is.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yep. Yep. That is
So
the
what
truth. You
was
got
it,
to take
Stacey, that
accountability.
kind of made you just keep holding on? Like through everything that he just said, right? It's like it's a sacrifice. Like, so what was it that made you keep holding on to and fighting for it? I know I heard you say, God first and everything, but what was it like? Have you ever reached, and I'm sure you have several breaking points where I can't do this no more, you
I
know?
have, but
Okay.
you know, a lot of people, especially when we were going through that, it's like for people who weren't in our relationship, all they could see was the substance use and the actions that he that went along with the substance use, being out all night, or just in the streets, hanging with his friends, being away from home. That's all they saw. But what kept me and what made me keep pushing through it was the things that they didn't see. It was the stuff that we experienced. Like, we share a lot of the same beliefs, the same thoughts, the same goals, the same morals. Like, we really are best friends. That year he was in the military, and I told you I was mainly letters and phone calls. It was like I got to know him. He became my best friend. So anytime I have some good news, bad news, just anything, he's the first person I think to call. So whenever we were going through that stuff, I wasn't just focusing on the substance use or what it was causing him to do or staying away from home. I was
Right.
focused on all the positive things too, the reasons that I'm with him to begin with. That was just one part of him, and a small part of him at that. It's not the big picture. You
Right.
know, as y'all can see today, I don't think people who are addicted to substances, I don't feel like that's their story. That's not their only story. It's just a piece of that
Right.
book. And so I hate to put somebody in a corner or in just this one spot just because of that. So I
Mm-hmm.
was able to, I'm not gonna say overlook it, but I was able to deal with it because I
See
knew it
through it.
was exactly. I knew eventually. I just kept praying and hoping eventually it's gonna get better, and
Yep.
it did.
And it
And that's
did.
all.
And you
That's
know
all
what?
we
I
can
feel
do.
like for people who haven't experienced like dealing with people with substance, they don't understand it. So in some people world, if they didn't have a loved one or a husband or a father, like myself, I had a father. I have cousins who's in addiction and everything.
Right.
So for me, it's like you're not looking at the addiction in itself. And like Jarvis said, that individual has to see what the problem is when people say find a solution, right? So I feel like once you worked in this field, because that's how I met Jarvis. And it's kind of like you look at things differently. Your eyes starting to open up. You see things differently. I can now process why I was so angry at my father for so long. And now I can say, now I understand. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that to say, I understand you now, Stacey, whereas 10 years ago, I wouldn't have understood what you just said.
Right.
Right. Yeah. I think the whole thing was powerful, and I like the comment that Eric had made. He said they always see something in us that we don't see in ourselves, but only the right woman knows how to bring it out of you.
Yes.
Right. So, and that's the truth, and that's what she'd seen. Right. It's not like it wasn't there, your addiction, but she's seen through that and seen who Jarvis was at the heart of who he really was, but you had to see who you were, right? And
Yes.
sometimes even her goodness, and I don't know, I'm asking, even through her goodness of saying, hey, I see better in you, did that come like maybe a little bit annoying, or felt like it was nagging to you? Because it's like, she's like, you see the good in me, and you're out here doing that. So talk to
Right.
that a little bit.
So, so yes, it can become. It always made me feel like, because I judge myself, right? I always tell. I think I told y'all this earlier, like with my anxiety, I judge myself so bad. It doesn't matter what you say. I already have my created thoughts about myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard what she was saying, and sometimes I would just hold on to that. But overall, she's always been my safe space. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she's always been my safe space with all the turmoil, all the chaos, all the drama that I've created. I've always had a space with my wife where I could go and feel safe. I could be vulnerable. Sometimes I might not like the feedback because she has a right to her own opinion and feedback and whatever she needs to tell me. But it always was a time where I just felt safe. So
Mm-hmm.
that kind of, that helps me. And that's why I know, like, now with the work I do, like, we always got to have a safe space where somebody won't feel judged and can be
That's right.
vulnerable and be able to, allow you to be exactly where you at. Like, she would tell me, like, I see your potential, but she also would say, I'm gonna meet you where you at. I see where we at
Mm-hmm.
right now. Like, how can we move forward? Not I'm up here, because my wife always been successful. My wife been always been successful. She always been the go getter. She always been the one that was responsible. She always was that one. So if
Right.
anything, like, I look at her, she inspired me, encouraged me to do better. And sometimes that would offend me too and mess with me as a man. Like, man, I should be stepping up. but she always gave me something like, I'm not up here, you need to catch up with me type stuff. She was like, no, I'm right here with you. You know,
Mhm.
it's like, so she always just been that safe space for me at all
Yeah.
times.
That's good. And you know what? That's so powerful that you said that because, there are couples that don't go through a whole lot of issues and drama, whatever the case may be, but yet they don't feel safe enough. Like I heard you use words like safe place, vulnerable, different things like that. But here we are, y'all going through the longevity of your relationship before you even got married, but you knew at the end of the day she is my safe place, right? Regardless to what you was doing, she still was your safe place. So I think that in itself is powerful, right? And we're saying, Stacey, how did you hold on? The other question is like, Jarvis, what else kept you holding on? But clearly, having that safe place definitely was part of it because that's
Yeah.
so important.
Yeah, definitely was part of it. It was a big part of it. And I always knew she had my best interest. It's only a few people that I have throughout my entire life that I always felt had my best interest, supported me, loved me unconditionally, made me where I was at. Wouldn't co-sign no BS. Nah, no, not
No, that's
co-signing
what I'm
anything.
saying.
No, never co-signing. And like because of how I grew up, I was able to receive, like whenever she would try to, tell me about myself or point out certain things about myself or held me accountable when she created those boundaries and made me deal with the things that I had created. It's like I was able to receive them, like she just one of those people. I think I telling you about speaking at my father's surprise party. So again, it's I only been able to identify three people in my life that I felt like had my best interest no matter what, supported me, unconditional love. Like it's only three people and I can identify it with all my heart. Like it's no question. I hook me up
Right.
to a lot of the test. Even if it's wrong, I know I'm a pass it. Like so the thing is, and she's one of those persons. She one of the people.
Did he
Right.
just say I'm a pass it?
He did.
I gotta pass it. And look, no matter what, I'm gonna pass it because I know. Not
Job is terrible.
because of what she showed, like not because of what she said.
No, I get you.
Because it's only because all the things she's done.
Right.
Everything she's done is like, how can I question this?
That's right.
Right,
No
right.
questions, Stacey
So,
loyalty.
so listen, guys, y'all been watching Real Talk with Ellison. We are talking about love without limits. My beautiful co-host Jaquita, we're having Jarvis and Stacey, and they have been just really being transparent, and we appreciate it so very much. If y'all are watching, don't forget to hit the like buttons and subscribe. And as soon as we come back after this commercial, I want to address that comment that just went up. So listen, sign up for the We Still Do Marriage Conference September 7th. Hey y'all, welcome back to Real Talk with Ellison, and I'm Ellison, and we're talking with Jaquita, Jarvis, and Stacey about love without limits. And yes, we have a marriage enrichment coming up. We do one every year, the first weekend in September of every year. Stacey, Jarvis, hopefully next year you could join
Yeah.
us, right?
Definitely,
Right.
definitely.
So
It's
so
a
there
great
was a
experience.
comment. There was a comment that was posted, and she said that Stacey has always been his rock, and she is the true definition of a helpmate. Helpmate. Stacey, talk to that. A helpmate, right? Because sometimes people want to change their partner through maybe criticism, or they leave them when they're down, kick them when they're down. wear them out, dog them out, all the other negative things, but being a helpmate. Even you said, I seen him, regardless of what everybody else saw. I saw him. So talk to that helpmate. What does that mean to you?
It means like I don't want people to think that it was just all peaches and cream because it wasn't. There were moments I probably went too far with my trying to help him. Trying to I'll go so far as to say like trying to tell him either do it this way or nothing. But I think the biggest thing is just making sure that you're there, giving him the support. It's not I wasn't coddling him. I don't think I was babying him or trying to make his life so easy that he didn't have to be responsible for anything or account for his actions. But I was in his corner. I gave him constructive criticism. I told him what, I needed from him as a wife, a mother to his children, his friend, his partner. I was just always trying to make sure that he could see we were equal. I didn't feel like I was more than him. I didn't feel like he was less than me. I felt like we were on the same page. We just had different journeys trying to get there. So I always wanted to just make sure he knew that no matter what we were going through, I was in his corner and I would always be in his corner even if my words didn't always come out right.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to show him with my actions by being there,
That's
you
good.
know. And
Yeah,
like he
that's
said,
really
he
good.
really can come to me with anything, and I can go to him with anything. Like he's seen me at my highest and my lowest, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So I feel like we're always trying to make sure we're just a true partnership as opposed to a dictatorship. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
And,
That's
and I,
Oh.
wa-
good.
I want to say this another way, like she helped me, which
Mhm.
a lot of times I try to. It makes you like for me. I ain't gonna say men, but for me, very uncomfortable. And I always believe like that's where like a lot of growth occurs at. So she would set certain boundaries, or she'll say, like you're not gonna be, you're not gonna be allowed to do that anymore. Um, Things are gonna have to change. This is what change looks like. You can't keep avoiding. We gotta have the conversations. Um, those type of things. Those was the boundaries that helped me
That's good.
look at myself and say, okay, you have to put in some work. You have to change some things if you want some different results. That was a
Right.
part of my maturing. Being able to mature was through the growth that she had helped me with by doing it. Because for a long time, she was younger too. So she had to get to a point where she could say, okay, here goes some healthy boundaries.
Mhm.
And I have to figure out is this woman of value to me? Is what she expecting from me? Is it valuable? Is it gonna make our relationship more valuable? Is it gonna
Right.
make me
That's right.
more valuable? Her more? So I had to start asking myself these type of questions, and then when I came with the answer, like yes, it is a value, I
Yeah.
started doing it.
Man,
Right.
you done chased
That's a
this
good
girl
one.
all up and down the field. What do you mean? Is she?
Right,
Right.
right, and she always been a value, but again, it was hard for
Yeah.
myself. Like it was hard to show, like because she always had an idea of what she used to tell me what a healthy relationship was.
Yes.
Mhm.
She did all the time. I couldn't grasp that though. I
Mhm.
didn't see that as like, and then I would think, okay, somebody trying to control me. I want freedom. I need to do this. I'm living my
Yep.
life. I never had like we've been together so long. I never had the like all these excuses that I used to come up with to create pain
Mhm.
for my wife, the one that
Yeah.
I knew and care about so much. And
Yeah.
it wasn't until I finally had got this last time I ended up getting clean and I did some work, some self work, looking at myself, seeing
Something
what was
different.
going on. And I was able to see, oh, you the problem, not everything around you, not what she wants you to do. Like I started seeing these things. So that's why it took so long for me. Like 6 months after I got clean, that's when we got married.
There
Because I
you
had
go.
so much work within 6 months of getting clean of self, I was able to see that you the reason you're not married.
Mhm.
You're the reason you haven't progressed.
Mhm.
Like instead of saying, well, if she was to do this different, or if she was to accept this, or like all the excuses, eliminate all excuses, hold yourself
Yeah.
accountable. So
There you
Right.
she the one who helped me grow and mature and realize what was like important and what type of values I had. What was a relationship? What do you think being married looked like? Like she the one
Right.
who, yeah, definitely.
That's good. You know, you talk about boundaries, and sometimes I ask couples, I'm like, do y'all have boundaries in your marriage? And they're like, no. I'm like, you got to have some boundaries,
Right.
right? You got to have boundaries in your marriage, right? Because,
go.
if not, then everybody's just going rogue and doing whatever. But boundaries with how you're going to treat me, how you're not going to treat me, what am I going to accept, what am I not going to accept. You got to have
Right.
boundaries in your relationship, right? And I think that was good what you said. So you got that tweet? Can you
Yep.
read that?
Eric says sometimes the idea of that type of relationship seems unattainable, but
Mm,
when you realize they're not trying to change you, you are change who you are, but add to who
you are.
by
You
you
are.
are.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
it
we
was
gotta get
together.
Eric to watch his little fat fingers when he's
Yeah, I'm
saying
like,
it.
it makes
Yeah.
changing your behavior worthwhile.
Yeah. Cause I was the type of man that thought that I should be able to go and come as
Would
I
you
please.
please? He
The
thinks that.
devil is a
I
lie.
hope
You
my
thought it.
brother watching this
So
show.
he thought I heard you,
Yeah.
Stacey.
Thought
Speak up, girl.
you
So,
Yeah.
did.
so
Yeah. And I knew that with marriage, those behaviors had to change. So, like, and at first it was uncomfortable me having to be like, well, okay, you have to be in at a decent time, or if you're gonna go out, we need to talk about it first, or like
Mm-hmm.
all these things that I was avoiding. I just
Mm-hmm.
ain't want to be responsible and held accountable for my actions. That's all it boiled down to. And I had
Mm-hmm.
somebody who was the whole time trying to teach me how to grow up,
yeah,
so it helped me out because it put me on a good schedule. It made my wife happy. I got more time with my kids. I was able to watch them go to sleep, be there when they wake up. It changed my entire life.
yeah, yeah. That's good. That's good. Boundaries.
Boundaries is it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That is fire right there. I had read that healthy partners don't fall in love, they grow in love,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because love is an action verb, and we should keep growing and growing and
Right.
growing and growing in love, right? Everybody's looking to fall in love, but you can just as easy as you fall in love when that patter of the butterflies are not there anymore. Okay,
Yep.
then love is gone. But if you grow in love, that's when what I'm hearing you guys say is that we still go through the whole process regardless of what it looks like, because I know it's more, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, was there any sacrifices that you guys felt y'all had to make throughout your whole relationship? And I'm saying relationship and marriage included.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of sacrifices. And I don't put blame on him because the actions that I chose were my actions. But I did choose to follow him sometimes, and it kind of slowed things down. Like, I got pregnant end of my first semester of college, had full scholarships to Dillard, lost it all. I had to come home. I was so sick. So, I felt like there was a sacrifice growing up. I wanted to be a doctor. I was like, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a pediatrician no matter what. I'm going to have this, and that. And that was one of the things that I gave up. Not mad about it. Family was the biggest thing for me. I always wanted a family. I think when I met him, I gave him a chance to run off on day one because I was like, I want a husband and I want kids. I wanted 7 kids.
That's why he didn't come to the movies.
Look, well, I hadn't
He's
told
like,
him that,
wait, she
but
want kids? The
Oh,
movies
okay.
are dark. I ain't going.
the funny thing is, after I told him that, it seemed like he came around more. But I was like, I want to be married with kids, and I want to be a doctor, and I want to be this. So going slow through school, not being able to become a doctor, and it took me. And I tell people all the time, it took me 10 years to get my undergraduate degree. That was because of the different things we were going through in the relationship. Sometimes it wasn't feasible for me to go to school. I was taking care of our son. I was, trying to keep us straight and do all of those things. And it just didn't work out the way we wanted.
Eric, we gonna put you off the scenes in the back because you
But,
cut.
I think the biggest sacrifices were just, for me, the biggest sacrifice was not being able to do the plans I laid out for myself.
Mhm.
But I still feel like what I wound up with was worth it.
There you go.
Amen.
Yeah.
Oh, amen.
Oh, again.
Oh.
I love it.
Nice, baby.
What I
Your face.
sacrifice? Oh man, yeah.
What you sacrifice, Jarvis? What she said.
Yeah.
You and your wife over there
Man.
talking.
I really, because of the type of woman I have, I didn't. At the time, I just sacrificed a lot of freedom, like with the lifestyle I was in. I always thought that taking care of my wife, being a provider,
Mm-hmm.
having stability, being able to get her what she want, make sure my kids had, these type of clothes, but I was just getting it in the wrong way. I was in a
Mhm.
certain lifestyle, so I sacrificed a lot of my time away from my family for that. As far as
So you.
relationship, I
Mhm.
had to start investing. Like I had to start investing. I never
That's
really
it.
sacrificed.
I like
I
that.
didn't take, you know what I'm saying? I did a lot of taking, so I
Mhm.
had to start investing, you know what I'm saying? And into
Mm-hmm.
time and energy, into
Yes,
maturing, learning about
that's good.
myself, stuff like that.
Right.
So pretty much you sacrificed something that was not worth having in the beginning,
Right.
you know.
Exactly.
So at that time, but
It,
now,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
different. So I
It's
get
different.
it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely.
Go ahead, Stacey.
So fast forward, right? What makes your marriage, and how do you feel that your what you guys been through, how can it help other couples?
I think let me answer the last part. So helping others, other couples, other people in certain situations, I believe it can give them some type of hope if you're willing to put in some type of work on
Mhm.
self, because a lot of times we want people to work on themselves, but we don't want to do no work on ourselves.
Right.
Um,
Right.
it also shows people like that being committed is worth it. It shows like with consistency and persistence, you can have longevity. Um, you can build a foundation, and I
Right.
believe our foundation, is built, which is why when things do come, when struggles do pop up, it ain't no shaking the foundation. So
I like that.
I don't know. It's helping people know like you do not have to quit on whoever you've identified as your person. If y'all mutually believe y'all each other person, you don't have to quit. You don't have to allow the different struggles that come in and out to dictate, okay, I'm for the move. A lot of times we need to make it through the process. The process is the struggle, and on the
You're
end
right.
of the process,
Mhm.
you get growth and some results. But if you start going through the process, you get uncomfortable and you easily shaken, you will just quit,
Yep.
or make an excuse, and then you'll never get to experience what you were supposed to experience in the first
That's right. That's
That's
good.
great. I love that. Hmm.
Ooh, okay. He dropping some science now.
place.
See what marriage do for you? No, I'm joking.
You're so
Right,
messy.
right, right.
Everybody, go get married.
Hey, but oh yeah, and the other part, like what our marriage consists, I think it's just companionship, partnership, family, kids, the things that we value being a part of. We very family oriented. Our both of our sides of the family are family to each other.
Right.
We about building, building
Mhm.
together. I was just talking to some youth today about a lot of times like we try to do things on our own, but we working against a whole. It's like sports. We got a whole team on this other side of the court, and we want to play ball against five other players. But
Right.
why you can't build you a team on this side? And this my team right here. This my starting point guard right here.
That's
So
it.
that's that's
Right.
that's that's what our marriage consists of.
That's good. It takes a team, right? And not only does it take a team, it takes a community. When you marry, you got to have a healthy, positive community. How about
Yes.
that?
Yeah. Hey,
Right?
Right.
my mother-in-law, Miss Alma, the best mother-in-law in the world. It's a bonus
Come
mama.
on, Miss Alma, with your bad self.
That's right.
Bonus
Let's
mama.
go.
She didn't talk like my mother-in-law. She seen me at the worst and stuff, and she used to tell my wife like he's going through a because history of substance abuse and lifestyle and certain things that she's seen in me, and she never judged me. She always would like encourage me. And then the people who talked, and it wasn't talking down, it was like out of love and respect for her, they wanted what was best for my wife. So but she would tell them, like, he's going through this part of his journey. He go use this one day to inspire your people. Don't give up on them. And I'm telling you, like those words was true, you know. So her family, like I got a bond with her family, like I have a bond with my family.
Yeah,
I want to point out too, since he did say that, like I think that's one of the things that kind of made this relationship work too. I came from like my grandmother and my mama, both of them are very nurturing, understanding women. And like they had, you know, husbands or, you know, partners, children, brothers, siblings, sons, you know, who's gone through this. And I've never ever seen my mom or my grandmother speak negatively about anyone going through a type of struggle like this. Like substance abuse didn't make a person a bad person in their eyes. Homelessness, you know, nothing made them look at somebody and judge them right off. So I guess, you know, I came into this without judgment. I just genuinely like to get to know a person, and I don't look at the little small, you know, things that they do. I look more so at the heart of a person. And I think because of my mom and my grandma, honestly.
That's really good, because you know, in some situations you hear that, girl, you need to leave. It's time to go. Come on home here. Whatever. Did you hear all of that? And what did you do with that? Go ahead, Queen. What?
You stupid for staying.
Yes.
What's so good about it?
I've heard it from a lot of people, but I never heard it from my grandmother or my mama.
Good.
Never.
That's good.
But I've heard it, you know, from friends, from people who wasn't friends, and from, you know, other family members and stuff like that. And like he said, it wasn't because they disliked him or hated him. It wasn't that. It was more so like, we just don't want to see you hurt.
Yeah.
You know, it was coming from love, but
yeah,
everybody has their own definition of love and what works for them. And so, you know, one of the things that I would want people to get from this is that when you choose your partner, whether it's marriage like we finally did, or if you never choose to get married, but this is your partner, this is who you're committed to, whatever it is, remember that that partner, that husband, spouse, wife, whatever, that's who you're married to. That's who you're choosing to commit to. So all of that other stuff is just background noise. Like you can take the advice, you can take you can take whatever they say, mull it over and make your decision from it, but you shouldn't let someone else decide your heart. It has to come from you, you know.
That's good.
We balance each other out. My weaknesses are his strengths, and his weaknesses are my strengths. So it kind of works for us.
Yeah, that's a true relationship. So listen, guys, you've been watching Real Talk with Ellasin. Please go ahead and hit like on YouTube as well as Facebook. We are coming to the end. So I am going to ask y'all for y'all nuggets. Stacey, that was a good one, but I need you to have another one when we come back.
I was going to say, that sounds like Stacey Nugget to me.
She got another one. They've been together for 20-something years.
You ain't right. You're messing.
Right.
So listen, guys, y'all show them some love and make sure y'all hashtag love without limits, right? So we're going to go ahead and go to this commercial, and we're going to come back and get the nugget from Jarvis and Stacey. All right, guys, we'll be right back.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Hey, everybody.
Hey, we wanted to get on here and we just want to tell you guys that we're excited for the upcoming We Still Do Marriage Enrichment Conference.
Yes.
Coming in September the 7th at Hub 757 here in Northern Suffolk.
Yes, we are super excited, and we wanted to say, listen, pour into your marriage, right? It's so important for us to make sure that we cultivate our marriage. And we do that with the We Still Do by providing you with some substance and some tools, right, to maintain and have a healthy, happy marriage.
That's right. So you guys need to get your tickets and get over to the conference ASAP there in September. Hey, and while you're at it, go ahead and on the website, you can order these t-shirts.
Get your t-shirt.
Get your t-shirt. We have one for men.
Yes.
And we have one for the ladies.
Yes.
And they had come in multiple colors. So please go on the website, www.westilldo.us.us, and you can get your t-shirts for the conference.
Hey, and listen, this several options with your colors. So don't forget to hit the drop down box and pick the color you want.
Go on over there to WeStillDo.us so you can register for the conference ASAP. So we want to hear you say,
We still do. Yes. That We Still Do conference is coming up next week. We are super excited about it.
We've been
Right,
talking
so-
about, man, we got to try this out. We got to go. we
Yeah,
have
we
to be
have
a
to.
part of, and we like them shirts too. So we're going to make
Yeah.
sure.
Yes,
It's pretty
yes.
amazing, though. I
And
think
enjoying
I've
the
been able
marriage
to-
group, right? We
It
always
is.
talk about marriage as a community. You
Mhm.
type in "We Still Do," marriage on Facebook, and be a part of our group. We try to inspire, encourage, everything in there. So we just have a little bit of fun in the group. All right, so nugget time.
Right, Jaquita. I feel like I gave my nugget, but okay.
You did.
Don't
That
jump
was
on Quitta's bandwagon, Stacey. Don't do
Stacey,
that.
you will want a girl. You will want. I'm ask Jarvis.
Well, make Jarvis
Jump
go
on
first while you
bandwagon.
still thinking.
He already told me I have to go first.
Yeah, you got it.
So I think that I do. I can come up with several things, but
Y'all so messy.
another nugget would be to
Sure.
make sure you choose each other every day. Like, you've probably heard that elsewhere before, but I mean, like, really living that and remember that, like, every day when I wake up, I make a conscious decision to choose my husband, to choose my family. And so my actions go along with that. I make sure that whatever I'm doing throughout the day never can take that away from me. So just choose your spouse every day.
Okay, all right. Choose your spouse.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that's real.
She messy though, Jarvis. Don't fall for it.
Well, I was getting ready to say, yeah, choose them because sometimes you want to choke them, but don't choose to choke them. Choose to love them.
Right. Choose to love them, but choke them in your head. That's right.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, we have to speak about that, brother Eric. As far as my nugget, it's something that I try to tell myself all the time. Never let the family that you come from damage the family that come from you or the family that you create. So what I mean by that is, like, start to heal. It's a lot of generational trauma, a lot of things that we grew up with, a lot of what go on in this house, stay in this house, or this is a man, or this is how a woman should be, and all of this type of stuff that from me that I grew up with. So I always think about healing, whether it be like individual therapy, group counseling, self-help groups, treatment, whatever it is. That's the nugget that I would drop on anybody. Like, do some self-work, do some healing, some shadow work, and start trying to identify like who that is inside of yourself. Because if you don't do that, you won't be able to be at your full potential for another person.
That's right. That's
right.
right. Don't let your family, your past family dynamics affect your now family dynamics. That's real good. That's real.
Yes.
Quita, what's your nugget, Quita?
You said them. You didn't say me. I'm gonna give you a nugget though. I'm gonna give you my nugget. So marriage is a sacrifice that we all go through when we decide to commit. Nurture and feed the marriage, and it'll continue to blossom and grow.
Right.
That's my nugget.
Thank you.
That was a good one.
Yep.
That was a wonderful
Thank you,
nugget.
Stacey, because
Y'all dropped some wisdom and some nuggets in here. That's good. I appreciate it. So listen, guys, you guys have been watching Real Talk with Ellasin, Jarvis, Stacey. I had a blast with you guys. I would love to have y'all back on here again because
I didn't hear your nugget. Sorry, didn't mean to be rude.
So I would love to have y'all back on here again. Quita, love you, girl. Y'all hold on. I'll be right back, okay?
Thank
So
you.
listen, you've been watching Real Talk with Ellasin. Please go ahead and hit the like buttons on YouTube as well as Facebook. Share this out because marriages are under attack. Marriages are suffering. People are going through, but you don't have to go through silently, right? Marriage takes a community. It takes a loving community. It takes you being able to identify some things that I have to do differently. Remember, you're only responsible for your own role in the relationship. We can't be responsible for the other person, right? So again, thank you for watching Real Talk with Ellasin. God bless. Mwah.